Hey, excited to share this story. It's kind of long. That's why it's being done a little bit different. So I was talking to my friend this morning. He works in ministry. And one of the things he talked about was that he always is the yes man. When his boss asks him to do something, he is like, yeah, we can do it. And he loves being that guy, that he's not the negative guy. He's the guy that will take on any challenge, and no matter the size. But sometimes he can overdo it and exceed how much he can handle. And so what he was talking about in this particular one is he felt like I met my match, but things changed, and I'm glad I did. Is he had to get 600,000 Bibles for the country of Mongolia. Their leadership felt like we wanted to get a Bible in everybody's hand. That as a non-believer, we got 6 months to do it. There's a big event they had coming up that they need to get it done by. So what had happened is he went back to his team and told them what was going to happen, and he had to raise money, he had to find them, or print them, and he was meeting resistance in every area. As a matter of fact, he lost 2 team members in the process. And so what he did is he really started becoming discouraged, thinking, I've really blown it this time. I can't handle the amount of work that I've got to get done. I'm going to disappoint my boss. I'm going to disappoint others, and I think I bit off more than I could chew. So as it continues, he was listening to a leader who talked about as they take on more projects, what they had to realize is that they can't just simply work more or fit more into the working day. What they had to really improve was they had to improve their capacity to lead, and they had to increase their faith. And so as they thought, this lady, as she thought about taking on more projects, what she did, instead of taking another hour and adding it to work, she took hours out of work and put it into devotion of reading her Bible, spending time with God, spending time in prayer. And as she improved in those areas, she improved her leadership, she improved her faith, and thus producing a better result for the amount of projects that she had to take on. So my friend took on that same kind of thought process, and he's like, okay, I need to raise money. I need to get 600,000 Bibles. I need to start calling around, but I'm going to work on myself and improve my leadership, improve my faith as I do this. So after a little while of working on this on himself, he came up to a church, and he calls him one day, and he says, "Hey, I got to tell you, I'm calling you because I'm on a quest. I'm on a quest to acquire 600,000 Bibles." And the lady just stops him like, "Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?" He goes, "No, we're sending 600,000 Bibles to Mongolia, and so they can't print that many in enough time. So we're just calling to see if we can find that many printed Bibles to get what we need." And she goes, "Last year, our pastor had a big number. It was 600,000 Bibles. And so we printed 600,000 Bibles, and we have them at our church. We are so glad you called. We're going to give you those Bibles." And he's just like, "What? I can't believe this. This is crazy." He's bouncing on. He couldn't believe it. They not only had the Bibles, but they wanted to give him the Bibles. And so it's bouncing up and down, jumping for joy, calls his boss and says, "Hey, I've got the 600,000 Bibles." And the boss is like, "Oh, that's great. Good." And he goes, I didn't feel like he was as excited about the victory as I was. And the reality of it is that his boss already had faith that it was going to be found, that the number was just a number. It was a small number in his mind, because as you think about your leadership, a level 5 problem is a big problem for a level 5 leader. But for a level 7 leader, a level 5 problem is a small problem. It's small. It's not that big a deal. They look at it and it can say, I can tackle that, no problem. It'll get done quickly. But a level 10 leader, like his leader, who's the head of the ministry, a level 10 leader looks at a level 5 problem and goes, those are regular occurrences. My faith is so big, my leadership is so strong, that I know that this is going to be easily taken care of. I just need to keep working and my relationship with God, building my faith, because those things that God wants to see through, he was rarely early, but he is always on time. So I wanted to share that with you because I was super excited by that. Later on, Dax, I went to another ministry, and his leader said, "Hey, how big is this project?" And he goes, "It's 50,000." He goes, "All right, we're getting ready to go talk to this church. What should we ask for in a big give?" And he goes, let's ask for 10,000. And then he goes, okay, we'll ask for 10,000. So he asks him for that number, and then and then at the end of it, my buddy calls his boss and says, hey, guess what we got? 10,000. He goes, yeah. He goes, I know, because that's what you asked for. And at that he goes, God will always meet you where your faith is. You need to make sure you constantly increase your faith so you keep increasing your capacity to receive blessings and pay them forward. Guys, I hope this inspires you, not only for the magnitude of what God is doing, because of this story, while it's my buddy's story, it's really God's story, but it helps you realize that problems are small, but our faith can outgrow those problems. Our leadership can outgrow those problems, and those problems get smaller and smaller as we get bigger and bigger. And when the problems are big, just remind yourself, this is not a big problem. Rather, my ability to be bigger than this problem is the problem. So that's a lot of problems. Anyhow, I hope this message finds you well. I hope you have a great day. Think about how can I increase my faith? How can I increase my leadership? Share it with everybody, because it makes a difference. Have a great day.